So like I said, we are diving into the death of the campaign and how are we embracing AI for what we want to call moment-based marketing. My name's Andrew Hagen. I'm a director of solutions marketing at Iterable. I've been there for about 3 years, and I'm just really excited to connect with this group this week. It's my third EIS summit, and every year it's so fun just to connect and learn and grow with a community of marketers who are working on the same challenges, the same opportunities we all face day in and day out. And just backing up a little bit of my background, I actually, prior to joining Iterable and leading value, started in lifecycle marketing. So I led travel and hospitality marketing and analytics for the better part of 15 years at Vail Resorts, and then spent a little bit of time in QSR with a brand called Noodles & Company. But I know from my time in those roles how hard it is to actually get value out of the tools and technology that come to market. And where we are right now with the transformation of AI and agentic AI, which we've already heard quite a bit about this morning, it's not just going to happen overnight. It's about how do we use it with intention and adapt and apply for our goals and our purposes and bring our team along in that process. And that's what I love about the role I play at Iterable. Solutions marketing, a lot of people ask me, like, what is that? And it's really ultimately about how are we connecting with our customers and our prospects and really digging in deep to understand what are the goals and the outcomes you're looking for, and they're unique across different industries, and how can we map solutions that ultimately lead you to true value recognition and different ways you can utilize that in the Iterable platform. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the transformation we're seeing in the market with AI, what we're calling the death of the campaign and why we're saying that, and then how are we ushering into this moments-based marketing era. But before we do, let's start with the fun stuff, right? The AI transformation is definitely here. I think we all feel it. It's a change not just in the way we work, but in how we create, how we connect as humans, how we think about our day-to-day lives, right? And AI is transforming industries all across the world, whether it's healthcare, where AI can now just use vocal recognition to diagnose things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, or in software development. How many people in this room have ever had like a crazy idea for an app that they wish they could build? Right? There's some hands out there. With this evolution of vibe coding and bringing down barriers to the technical capabilities that are required, we're not far off from the first billion-dollar company as a solo individual entrepreneur. But this rapid transformation is happening at different paces, and individuals are grabbing onto it, but companies aren't necessarily seeing that full value out of AI today. Just a study from Boston Consulting Group in November of last year found that 74% of companies say they're not necessarily getting that full value achievement that they were expecting out of AI they're investing in. And that value isn't coming because we aren't trying, right? As individuals, it's not because of you or me. It's because of the antiquated ways of working and the inability that we have had to take a step back. Steph, what you said really resonated is when we're building the brief, step back. What are we trying to achieve? And do we have the process, the people, the technology to deliver it? And I think one thing you see here, 27% of CMOs feel that their operating model, the way they go to market today, is not fit to deliver on the goals and objectives that they have. Goals are rising faster than what we're able to keep pace with right now. And a lot of the common problems that we face on fractured data silos or the complexity of how do I keep up with scaling personalized content and never-ending manual tasks, right? Like building reports and sharing out new templates and all these different things take time, energy, and effort. And the way we're applying AI today has more or less been, how do I bolt on and cement some of the status quo, maybe do it a little faster, without taking that step back to rethink what's the approach, what should I be thinking about here? We're stuck in what we're calling the traditional campaign calendar. And I've seen this play out with literally every one of my teams in my 15 years leading lifecycle, but I see it with thousands of companies today that I'm working with, which is we're stuck building and developing our promotional aspects of how are we going to engage our consumers around an episodic manual, and brand-centric calendar. What promos are we going to run in April, and how am I going to get customers to care about it? Versus the inverse of how do we really recognize what do customers need from us, and how do I show up in that process? Another thing, I think, Courtney, you said it, that really resonated is the agility, right? That comes with, hey, Domino's just changed the game with a new offer, and how do I adapt my pricing or the creative? I thought I was going this direction in the campaign. Now my team's got to rework, rethink, and how do we reset? And it leads to a lot of challenges. We've been able to make our way through that, still deliver on personalized experiences, but maybe not the most effective and efficient way possible. And the risk of that, when you look at what's happening in the market today, 98% of email volume sent in 2024 was still delivered in some form of a batch communication. Could be segmented, but not based on triggered or automated events. And there's inefficiency and ineffectiveness with that, because batch campaigns have a 96% lower revenue per send than what you recognize with the average triggered campaign. Additionally, customers, talked a lot about this already, the frequency with which they're receiving when they're in these broader list batch campaigns is driving more and more churn and unsubscribe, and inexcusable representation from the brand that ultimately drives them further away. We've spent all this time trying to manufacture customer engagement across a predefined customer lifecycle journey, from awareness, consideration, conversion, loyalty. But the power of marketing doesn't come from manufacturing these experiences and hoping our customers move with us. It comes from us understanding, learning, and adapting the communications based on where the customer is and what they need in that moment. It's not a first name in an email that everybody's getting, but maybe minor personalization or just one image in a template. It's rethinking how and when and where we engage. And that's always been the goal, right? But the traditional campaign has made that extremely challenging for us to actually execute on. And that's why we at Iterable say the traditional campaign is dead. And we're ushering into this new era, which we call the moment-based marketing era, where every customer feels like your only customer. And this is exactly what we've all been working towards, right? Where each individual is treated truly individual. The promotion code for the person who needs that extra nudge versus maybe it's just an email check-in for somebody who is a high communicator with the brand, but really treating them fundamentally different. And the promise of this has always been there. It's what we've been working towards. But the challenge of it and the technology hasn't always matched it. And that's why we're excited at Iterable to be rolling out a little bit of a new product this fall that I want to give you a little bit of insight to how we're doing it.
Marketing is on the brink of its biggest transformation yet. AI is unlocking new possibilities, yet most tools just speed up old processes rather than rethinking them. It's time to break free from the traditional campaign. It's time to embrace moments-based marketing, where every customer feels like your only customer. Meet Iterable Nova, a vision for a new AI-powered Iterable. Acting as your trusted advisor, Nova will understand your role, industry, and unique business goals, so you can deliver the right message. Need to improve your results? Just click and Nova will provide prescriptive recommendations tailored to your goals. Every customer is unique and your messaging should be too. Nova will tailor engagement at scale, crafting one-to-one interactions that feel truly personal. Simply define your key goals and audiences, and Iterable will intelligently build customer journeys that align with your business rules. Customize selective paths to ensure every user experiences a journey unique to their preferred channel, timing, and behavior. Real-time monitoring means no more blind spots. See what's working and fix what's not. Need a report for leadership? Nova will summarize key insights in seconds. From idea to execution, Iterable Nova transforms marketing. Welcome to Iterable Nova, a new AI agent to power the next evolution of our platform that will make moments-based marketing a reality.
Awesome. It's exciting, right? Like just getting the visual of where it's heading and where the market is heading overall, and the power and potential is massive. And we just launched Iterable Nova, which is our new AI agent, and it's really built, think of it as iterable that we love and know, supercharged, right? So the foundational core elements of how we store, retain, and unify customer data and activate that in real time for personalization across all channels and ultimately optimize in-flight communications based on what we're learning and based on explainable AI. All of that's still there. But Nova takes it that step farther to really understand your goals so you can define upfront what are we trying to achieve, what are the outcomes, and get prescriptive insights, recommendations, and foundational builds to start your campaigns, to make modifications, update, and optimize, and then ultimately conversational guides to build those reports or insights, but using native language prompts to either start campaign builds or get insights on what's working and what's not. So it's a great promise, right? It's what we've all been working towards to get to that true one-to-one, but how can we get there and does it happen overnight? The answer is that it definitely does not happen overnight, right? We've spent the better part of the last 20 years trying to rework the ways of working, rework how we build campaigns and all the teams involved, and ultimately it doesn't transition overnight. But we've come up with 4 pillars and some workshops that I'll talk about in a second, but really think about how do we get there? How do we rethink? So the first is how do we transform operating model? And what I mean by that is, first and foremost, we've got to rethink from what are the brand moments, what are the promotions that matter in my calendar, to what are the moments in my customer's life cycle that drive a pivotal shift in how they view our brand. So stepping back and understanding what does the customer need to feel and see from us before that outcome. Second, redefine the KPIs in an API era. There's a lot more new KPIs coming on board, and like we've talked about today, opens, clicks, maybe not as meaningful as they once were. So how are we thinking about things like model scoring for propensity and predictive measures that we're putting into our models and training those? And then also, how are we thinking about ROE of our employees? Where are we deploying human resources to help redefine workflows? We should never be starting journeys with a from-scratch base. Second, modernizing MarTech infrastructure. This one I can go on for a long time, but I would say simple math, cloud native, API first, drives that AI ready, and really assuring that you have a modern solution in place that's composable and speaking for that real-time responsiveness. The third, modular approach to content, and this is massive. Our ability to individualize messaging is only as good as our ability to scale the content to support it. So how are you thinking about asset management structure, content libraries, digital asset managers? And then how are you also leveraging AI to guide and to create and decision and test when it comes to how we put that content together? And then finally, how are you building a culture of AI literacy within your own organization and within your own team? So AI councils with cross-functional leaders that are invested in what tools are working, not just governance, but moving beyond that of what's most effective. Second, dedicated upskilling and training programs for your team. And third, realignment of talent strategy. There's a lot to rethink in this AI era, new roles, I think that were being mentioned in one of the first sessions of how do we actually need to deploy our team and our resources. So there's a lot to consider within that, and this is where Iterable really excels. So we've got a set of a number of different workshops here on the screen, from strategy of how do we help map those moments and objectives, down to architecture workshops, where we break down what's in the stack, what are our opportunities, but also what are the workflows that we're following today in our campaign, and where could we start to infuse greater automation and AI. And then third, AI literacy. How are we leveraging things like our AI Academy to actually upskill, gain certifications in AI solutions and toolings, and how we bring that to market. We also have our customer community, a massive opportunity. This is Fabletics here, which is a customer we were already working down this path with, but they're working today to do AI-guided decisioning and contact strategy using things like channel optimization and frequency optimization, setting the channel of delivery, the frequency caps, all based on user propensity to actually engage. And it's leading to real results. We saw a 38% increase in their click rates, but above that, a 2.5x increase in customer value for those who are engaged in cross-channel. All of that culminates in recognition that we get from top advisors in the space, whether it be G2 or Trust Radius, but it comes from the customers that we serve and the feedback that we serve, whether it be Priceline, Orange Theory, or many of the customers who are in the audience today. And beyond that, we work with a wide variety of partners, many of whom are in the room today as well. But it's very important that we have that composability and that capability to connect and learn and grow with our partners, because each business is unique and each tech stack is going to be unique. So how do we architect ourselves in a way to maximize the value for all? So that's it from Iterable. I know I went a little bit long there, but Greg and I are here all week. Greg is sitting down here, front row. We would love to chat. We also offer those strategy workshops like I mentioned, so feel free to book some time. And yeah, thank you.
All right.